Bobby Lee here. I have some dates to promote. January 17th through the 19th. This weekend, I'll be at the Irvine Improv. Please come and say hello. Please. The next week after that, I'm going to be in Omaha.
The weekend of the 24th.
The weekend of the 24th, I'm going to be in Omaha, Nebraska at the Funny Bone. I'm excited for that because I've canceled a couple times there, but I've always heard that's a great club, and I cannot wait to go. So come see me there. And then February 13th to the 16th, I'm going to be at the Chicago Improv in Schaumburg, and it's one of my home clubs. I hope you come. I love it.
Enjoy the show.
Everything's on?
Everything's on.
Okay, do the countdown.
5, 4, 3.
Namaste. Bonjour. Welcome to another episode of TB. I'm your captain, your host. Some people call you, I'm a prophet. You know what I mean? I'm a vessel with the Lord. I have my beautiful Filipino half-white.
You didn't have to say that.
Girlfriend, I have to put that white in. It makes it fancier. You know, my half breed here. My beautiful. We got full Filipino.
Thank you.
Your face isn't that flat today.
Oh, more.
You're welcome.
Did you contour it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A little bit of makeup.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
We got country white, George. Everyone knows him. He's got a pink dick. It's translucent. It's wonderful, right? We got high Asian.
Wow.
Fucking always high. Look at him. He can barely open his eyes. His eyes are gooky as it is, and then all of a sudden he gets high. It's a struggle. It's a real struggle. You guys, I want to say this. You know, I have dreams, and I love meeting people, and I love East Coast. I do. I love Jersey Mike's. I do. I love. They have a lot of Nigerians over there in the streets. You know what I mean? And I love different colors. You know, smells. But I used to go to do Opie and Anthony a lot, and then they broke up. So the last time I was there, I saw Opie, and then they had bull dick. I ate some bull dick. Delicious, by the way.
It is delicious. Lunch show?
But I ate it raw, babe.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I do it. I eat it like sushi.
Oh.
And I met, you know, there's different kinds of whites. There's different kind of white people, right? There are white people, country whites, like this guy right here. You know, it's a pretty good look. But I met this guy, Chris Distefano, and didn't know much about him. I knew he was a comic. And when I first did Opie and Anthony, you know, it was back when Patrice and all those guys and Greg and Norton, and they used to rip me apart. But then I met this guy, and this dude, we had breakfast afterwards, which, like, I think Opie took us to breakfast. And when this guy smiles, he shows all his teeth, and you know, like a Freddie Mercury vibe. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah. He shows all the teeth. And I know that he has a podcast called History of the Hyenas. And he does it with my buddy right here, Yannis Pappas. And I wrote a song, actually, if you want to hear it. And I wrote it for you guys. And before I introduce you and say you can talk, listen to the song. It's great. So I have GarageBand, and I write these songs, and I'm going to sing over the music that I wrote. And maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Where's my? Oh, there it is. Okay.
He ran it past me earlier.
I ran it past you.
I approve.
Right. So here we go. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's right. Uh-huh. East Coast Fever. It's called East Coast Fever with Chris Distefano and Yannis Pappas. That's it. Give them a round of applause, guys. Yannis and Chris are in town.
Thank you for having us.
I want to know, what kind of white is he?
Yeah.
He's, you know what? He's the Schindler white.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that because I did the Ancestry.com, and I thought my whole life I was half Italian, half Irish, like every other white piece of shit from any big city. But I found that I'm almost 80% German.
Yeah.
So it is interesting you say the Schindler thing because I have a little bit of the Nazi thing, you know. I like everybody.
I understand that.
I don't want to push anybody in ovens. I mean, I am for the wall, and but I want to make sure everyone here has their passport because you guys are looking at me, and I'm getting a little, I'm getting a feeling the walls are coming.
But I want to say this,
but I don't want to hurt any Jews.
Right, I know you don't, but you didn't even have to go.
Right.
Ancestry. You could have just called me and I would have said you're 80% German.
you know.
Look at that face.
Yeah.
You see Schindler's List?
Yeah.
We all look like you, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what it is.
You're Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Saganaki.
I need Saganaki and I need an eyebrow threader at all times.
Yeah, he needs to thread his eyebrows.
They need to be threaded now.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have come to L.A. like this. I'm embarrassed by how I look.
Yeah. But when I saw you last night at the Comedy Store, I just went, that's Yannis, because nobody looks like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look like John Stamos' like retarded brother. Like
Don't
special
say
needs.
that.
That's what they call me.
We call him special needs Stamos.
That's my nickname.
And we also call him Yanni Omos because he's his head is almost big enough. He's almost handsome. He's almost got a big enough dick. He's almost had a career. He's come close. And he's almost gay. That's the thing with us. Is I'll say this about us is we're a podcast. Number one, we're a podcast that's on the run. We're just feel like we say shit. We're here for a good time, not a long time. The History Hyenas. We can confidently 100% tell you we are not gay, but we can also tell you we are not straight. So I just don't know what it is. It's a mixed match. We're a couple of guys. We fall in love with men. We have sex with women. That's how it rolls. And he's got a fucking wife.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I'm into that. I have name envy. History of Hyenas is possibly the best podcast I've ever heard of.
Thank you. Yeah.
I wish we had thought of that.
Yeah. History Hyenas.
You got a good name here.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean,
what you mean?
You guys got to take a little pride. Like you came in, you thought he was being sarcastic about this being a nice house.
It's a beautiful home.
This is a nice house.
Oh, thank you. But, well, I forget that you guys are from New York.
Yeah, we live
in one bed.
Like
one Betty.
Yeah. It's like Tokyo.
Yes.
Tokyo style.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fucking like Tokyo. Yeah.
Because you go to when you go on the road, like you go on the road, you go to Oklahoma or whatever, and you see like a compound.
Sure.
And you go, how much is that? They're like, oh, that's $9,000.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like this is
this
hard.
is a few sticks.
It's hard.
This is real money.
It's hard.
Yeah, no, but the thing is too, and because out here, how do the Eastern Hemis do well out here? Just like in New York, it's all about Eastern Hemi money. They'll say Eastern Hemisphere. Yeah, the people
I know what.
Okay, my fault. My fault. Eastern Hemis, but they're good people. We love the Eastern Hemis. Absolutely, we love them. But it's all about the Chinese money in New York. Mm-hmm. The thing is, it's like the buildings. They don't want to sell you an apartment. Like I'm trying to sell my apartment right now. They're like, there ain't enough Chinese money in here. So we got to get some Chinese money back into New York. I know you guys are not Chinese, but
it's getting to be that way here too. The Chinese money is here too.
Oh, it's out here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, China's everywhere, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking team China.
How do you feel about the China?
Vancouver's
China?
No, the people buying all the property and the money.
I got no problem with them because I'm a property owner now. I like the Chinese.
He actually wants his daughter to date a Chinese.
I 100% want my daughter to date a fucking Chinese kid because all the people, I'm telling you.
I agree with that. Chinese men are the best husbands.
100%. Because it's like okay, she goes to school with all these fucking woke kids in Brooklyn, and they're like, "Are you vaccinated?" Or like, on scooters. Where the Chinese, they don't give a fuck. The Chinese, they don't care. It's like they'll give my kid whatever. They don't ask about peanut allergies. One of the Chinese grandmother gave my kid a live shrimp in a bag the other day, and we don't know, is this a toy? Is it food? They're like, am I keto? I didn't fucking know. But they're playing on the abacus and shit. They talk about the sun. They do full fucking Chinese shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're Korean or whatever, but it's Chinese shit. What I like.
That's an attack, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm in therapy right now. I'm gonna let it go, dude. All right.
Fucking wild look at your mullet. I fucking love what you're about, dude. By the end of this thing, I'll kiss you right in the fucking lips. I swear to God, man, because
you did a thing last night that was very European. You kissed my hand 3 times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that a fucking New York thing?
No, he thought you were King Jong-un. That's what he
that's what it was. Yeah,
he said he got confused.
Yeah, I was paying respect to the dear leader.
Oh, you were?
That's what it was.
Yeah, he's paying respect.
No. I fucking like you, dude.
Yeah.
I've always liked you.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of you since day one. And when you came in and you started eating that bull dick on Opie and Anthony, I was like, I'm a fucking fan.
Yeah.
And
why though?
Because
you're a free fucking spirit. You're a fun guy. Yeah, you got good energy.
Man.
Yeah,
you got great energy.
Yeah,
and I know you're not going to lose that now, but just
his
if we
dick
have
is
to
hard,
say
guys.
it, say it, don't fucking lose it because you come in and you're wild and you're free spirit and you're kind of like me because they call me Chrissy Bug Chaser because I like to chase bugs. And what I mean by that is, guys, homosexual community, they go and they have guys who don't have AIDS have sex with guys who do have AIDS because of the feeling of chasing the bug. And I'm not a gay guy, but I do chase the bug. I do go raw dog. I'm actually dealing with residual diarrhea right now from antibiotics. apparatus I took for long-term chlamydia.
Yeah.
Chlamydia. Do you
But
take
I'm good-
Truvada?
But I'm good to go right now.
Do you
And I
take
don't have
Truvada?
CVS. What's it called?
Truvada.
Oh, yeah.
What's Truvada now?
It's basically a prophylaxis for people who are, let's say, if you're in a relationship with a guy with HIV.
Okay.
So to continue to have sex with them without getting the.
Got it.
Without
You can't wear no condom. You can do it with no condom.
I mean,
If I take Truvada, I can do it with no condom.
Yeah, it's a prophylaxis.
Right, but that's still. I feel like that's still like just playing Russian roulette.
No, that's what I'm saying because it's the bug chasing. That's what it's about. I don't do that anymore. I've been celibate
He's
for
had-
8 weeks now. Christian celibacy. I got a blowjob in Denver though. I will admit.
He's had chlamydia about 3 times recently. Like CVS is like his Cheers. He
Yeah.
walks in, they know his name.
All right,
They just toss a bottle at him. He grabs it.
doxycycline, and they know
Yeah.
what's up. But I've made a commitment now to my family and to myself to just I'm celibate. I'm only gonna have sex with a woman who I think could potentially one day be my girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And guys on the side.
So you,
And guys on the
yeah,
side,
yeah. But so then you had an addiction. Do you think?
I was a full blown sex addict, a full sex addict. Just unprotected sex with but just wild.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
really living life crazy.
Are you treating that with meetings and whatnot, like
Yep.
up groups and stuff?
I went to one, and the lady told me, she was like, you're not as sick as you think.
Yeah.
She was like, but try celibacy, and it's been 8 weeks. Besides the one blowing in Denver,
Yeah.
I've been celibate with women. No, I don't know about guys.
Yeah, there's a couple raisins that's slipped in
That's
there.
what we
Yeah.
say. It's like oatmeal. You have sex with so many women.
He's had
after a
sex with
while-
so many women that if a couple raisins slipped in that oatmeal,
Yeah.
he wouldn't notice.
He wouldn't
'Cause
know.
So many women.
We call gay guys raisins.
If a couple guys slipped in there like raisins, he wouldn't taste it.
There's a dude,
raisins.
there's a
He's had
dude
many
that does
raisins.
our podcast. I can't say his name. That's just like you.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Handsome,
Right.
very funny like you, right? But is in knee deep in puss.
Yeah.
Right. I see. For me, guys like Giannis, and I'm sorry for putting us.
No,
in the
I'm a
same
married
boat.
kid.
No, he's Yanni almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's almost handsome.
Yeah.
We get it.
I'm just like, if you stretch my eyes a little farther apart, just a
Yeah.
little thing, everything's a little disproportionate.
Right. People's faces are like 1 inch away from being incel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen incel photos where like they just put the eyes? It's like they look like incels, but then they do this and they're Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's just exactly. All beautiful people are like that. They just hinge on being really disgustingly ugly.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
1 millimeter away from that.
From that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Is that
true.
because God didn't concentrate when they were making us?
I don't know.
It's
My
got to be
father's-
something, though, right? I know where you're going.
Yeah, yeah.
I know where you're fishing, and I agree.
Because I feel like he, right, when he made you,
Yeah.
he took a day.
Yeah.
Like he's like, get the chins in, right? Get the
Get the
cheeks
chin-
up, right, and all that stuff, right? And he concentrated, right? But with me, he went like this, pop, pop, and threw it down, right? And
Does this guy need a chin? No.
Right, and he need 1 billion of us too.
Yeah, a lot
and
of
he
you.
says we're making them just pop, pop, and just throw them down.
Throw
Right?
them down.
White dudes like you,
Yeah.
he really concentrated.
Well, I think God's German. That's why. and I think the wrong people won the war. I'm kidding. Trump 2020. No, I'm kidding.
You guys still mad about Pearl Harbor?
What? Yeah. No, I'll never eat sushi. They're still the enemy. I'm still at active war with the Japanese army. No, my grandfather, I swear to God, my grandfather fought in World War II, and he wouldn't eat sushi to the day he died. He would say that's enemy food. He wouldn't eat it.
You know what I'm tired of that
It's just
shit? though?
wired.
Can I say
I
something?
think it's stupid.
When Americans go, it was a sneak attack. They were angry about it, right? But that's war. That's
war.
Right? What is Emperor Hirohito supposed to call Roosevelt and go,
Yeah.
hello?
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
How's the family?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to attack you tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? He wouldn't do that.
You know what? That's a good point. That's a really good point.
It's strategic.
Yeah.
No.
They're sleeping in Pearl Harbor and they don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
go time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And listen, babe, it was a sneak attack, but it's like I get why they had to do what they had to do. I get why the Japanese had to do what they had to do. We were not treating them fairly, treating them like second-class citizens since World War I. And then they came and then we stopped fucking paying for their oil. We stopped the oil. We said we're not giving you any more oil to take over fucking China. So they said, listen, babe, the only way we're gonna have to try to blow the Pacific fleet out of the ocean. It didn't work.
Yeah,
and then the whole country got put in a microwave. But that's just what's going to happen. You know. But I'm not. But what I'm saying is,
If you
I
mess
don't
with the boys,
blame
that's
the
what happens.
Japanese. You
Yeah.
mess with the boys. You woke up the boys.
Yeah.
It's a situation. It's unfortunate that happened. But I do not blame the Japanese for doing what they did. And I also, war is disgusting. It's ugly and it sucks. But it's not going anywhere.
But
know?
But do you think this is probably open for debate? But do you think that nuclear bombs was a little too much?
I think
It's a little heavy-handed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I think
Yes, a little.
I'll say this. I think the second one was a lot. You didn't have to do the second one. And the first one is debatable. I wouldn't have chose to use it, but think about the other options from the Allies' point of view. They said we're going to lose 1 million soldiers if we invade Tokyo, or we can just drop some nuclear juice on these people and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was right. I don't think it was right what the United States did. I do not.
Just don't call it juice.
But
Yeah, juice. It's
don't
a
call
little
it
weird.
juice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a little weird.
It's a little bit more of a boo-boo.
Yeah,
Juice
sorry.
made it sound a little more
it's
friendly.
like, well, they
Want
kept
some apple
saying,
juice here?
Well, no, they kept saying, well, listen, Truman kept saying to Japan, he said, just give up. Your country's lost, give up. And the Japanese pride said, we're not going to do it, we're not going to do it, we're not going to do it. So he said, you're giving us no choice. Either you give up by today, and we're not, or you're going to be a bento box. And then that's what happened. You know what I mean? And I know that that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be a little traumatized after that.
I'm saying it's wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's wrong, but it's like, it's war. You got to give up. You got George Washington. I'm fascinated with George Washington. One of the best books I ever read, 1776, about the start of our country. They said the best thing about George Washington is what his number one quality is he was able to see things as they were, not as he wishes they were. So he was very good at withdrawing. And he would say, when other generals would say, no, we have to attack them for the pride of our country, say, no, we're going to get fucking smacked by these red coat cuties if we take one more step further. So he'd say, we will withdraw. And then he constantly did that and played that game. And then we won our independence, where the Japanese were saying, I want to see things as I wish they are. I think we can beat them. And it's like, babe, you can't. With the United States of America, we got the boys, and we're charged up because you did a sneak attack, you sneaky fucks.
Well, the problem also is that they idolized Emperor Hirohito as a sun god.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And so when the people, it's like Hitler, right? When people swallow that pill. You know,
Sure.
Yeah.
and many times, you guys know I'm a Trump supporter, right?
So are we. I mean, that's you're going to get away with it because you got the right look. But if you're speaking our language right now, yeah, I think he's just making good choice after good choice. And if fucking cucked out Hollywood wants to say something different, they can say it. We're in Bobby Lee's fucking mansion right now, and it's what it is. Yeah.
I was kidding, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, me too.
I was about to say I can't co-sign that.
Yeah,
it was just
because your brother worked for the Obama administration.
Somebody read a little Wikipedia before I got here.
No, I didn't. Peter, I know him.
You do know him?
Yeah, Peter Pappas.
He's a gay guy.
He's the best.
He's an A-list gay.
that kid's a raisin bad.
Yeah. Well, he's great.
You know my brother?
No, I was kidding.
Oh, okay.
I Wikipedia it.
You know what's funny? His brother
Treated me like a morning show.
his brother's like a top-notch, like DC lawyer, like top-shelf gay kid. And when the first time I met Yannis's brother, I was upset. I was upset and offended that his brother wasn't sexually attracted to me. I really wanted his brother to just think I was cute, and he looked at me like I was the fucking help. He was like, "Go throw the garbage out," because I'm just a Brooklyn mook. I'm a talking super cat, and I got really upset because I always thought it'd be funny if Giannis walked in on me one day and I was banging out his brother. It's like I would do that for the Patreon.
It was funny. He
You know
met
what I
my
mean?
brother at my engagement party. It was my wife had an engagement party at her parents' house, and they live in Long Island, and her father's like a doctor and whatever. And I had left the party. I wasn't there, and he showed up, and nobody knew who he was. So my wife's father said to her, like, is the air conditioner broken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he looked like he was there to fix the air conditioner.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he belonged.
I can't tell you how many times I have a doctorate degree in physical therapy, right? So I would go when I got my own caseload, people would come in and I'd walk in, would be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You know, whatever, going over their sheet, medications, whatever it is, treating their injury, and they would say, "Okay, great. When am I going to see the therapist?" And I said, "No, it's me." And they were like, "No." They would just go, "No." And I would say, "No, it's me." And they were like, "It can't be you." And I'm like, I'm praying. Multiple times I'd have to have my boss come in and show them my diploma and show them my pass the bar exam and say, here, because I understand. It's not it was young looking. It's just like talk. I sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you sound
stupid. I'm a garbage man.
You're an anomaly because you're a good looking guy, right?
I appreciate that,
right?
Bob.
But you have Woody Allen neuroses.
Yes.
Right, because I follow him on things, you know what I mean, and you're always there's an ailment or something going on, right?
Yep.
So that's what makes you endearing, I feel.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's all real,
But did you ever suck dick?
I've never sucked a dick. Well, I've never sucked a dick.
That you didn't black out while you were doing it.
Right. Yeah.
That he
I've
was
never
conscious
sucked a
for
dick
you.
willingly, but I did get face fucked when I was 12.
Yeah,
that just happened. That's what happens. When you grow
trauma.
When you grow up in a neighborhood, I grew up in a deep
Trauma.
Brooklyn, Queens neighborhood with real fucking tough guys, you know, that are all cops, firemen, criminals, and I had a love of history and plants, so you're going to get skull fucked when that happens. When if you start to talk about your open love of history, then unfortunately one of the McLaren brothers is going to pop one off your uvula, and there's nothing you can do about that. That's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say.
You're talking to the right people. We've been skull fucked.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah.
As kids, so everyone's been skull fucked.
I'm not. I don't take it.
I feel out of place here. I'm
Yeah.
the only
So-
person who hasn't been raped.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's
It's
fine.
all right.
Yeah, you missed out, but
to
you're
be
all
honest,
right.
and you're not
Yeah,
going to get a
I feel
house
like
like this without any rent. So sorry, Yanni. Have fun with your fucking
I
normal
was
life.
molested by a guy with Down syndrome.
Interesting.
Yeah, full blown. You know. What
Wow.
I mean? So, yeah.
You
I
have no upper body strength to fend that off.
Yeah.
No, people with Downs have they're like chimpanzees.
Oh
They'll
my
get-
god.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Fuck. Yeah. This is worse
I
than
call
our
it, I call
podcast.
it,
Jesus
I call it,
Christ.
I call it HRS, hidden retard strength.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I
so
believe
there's, yeah, and I knew that as a little kid. It was
And you
instinctual.
let them molest you like that. Yeah.
Is this how you guys usually drive the car?
I like this.
Yeah.
I'm
There's no
having a
wheel.
great time on this.
Yeah.
There's no wheel.
This is what
Yeah.
the new world
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
You can't stop
Yeah, I've actually sucked how many? Probably 5 or 6 dicks.
Wait, have you had your dick sucked though?
by a man.
Yeah.
No.
No. I've had. Are you talking about a man who identifies as a man, or a man with
Like
who identifies as a
change?
woman, or that I identified as a
Either.
woman while they were doing
No,
it?
like a man, like a gay man.
I've never had my dick sucked by a gay man, but I got the skull fuck when I was a kid, but never in my adult life willingly with a guy. I do. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I do fantasize quite often about sitting in men's laps, but I don't know what that means.
He's got like a Santa thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to get in. Like when he thinks a guy's really hot, he wants to sit in their lap. He has urges to go sit in their lap.
Like Giannis is such a deep thinker, and Giannis is such a motivated guy to read and learn and push the envelope forward. And I can't tell you how many times when I was with my kid's mom, when we were together and everything was going well, I would have a deep, beautiful conversation like looking at a tree about life and nature, and that would get me so horny that I would have sex with my kid's mom.
Yeah, that's-
so I get turned on by men, but I have sex with women.
He's
I've
a-
never.
Hold on, you get turned on by plants and then have sex with women?
No,
conversation
deep
with
conversation.
guys.
So in other words,
Oh, I thought you were-
I'm romantically. I would say I'm emotionally gay, physically straight.
Okay,
That's how I
that
would
makes
describe
sense. That
myself.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could just describe it as just a fully gay man in the closet.
I'm a
who
gay man.
is waiting for his father to die to come out.
That's the
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Another point too. I have big triceps from pushing down the gap. So I'm Irish Catholic and I push down.
I mean, that is one
Yeah.
of the, that's a rationalization.
Because I
I
come
heard.
from a neighborhood where it's like if you're not a cop, a fireman, or a criminal, and you're especially pursuing an art form, I mean, you might as well just be sucking cock.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they just are like, dude, I know you're on Grindr, and it's like, nah, guy, I got a kid. I'm just like I didn't want to be a cop or a fireman, but they're like, this is the neighborhood where we're cops and firemen.
But you know, the U.S. is really uptight about casual dick sucking because in the Philippines, I can't think of one male family member of mine that didn't casually get their dick sucked.
Really?
They don't identify
My
with,
type of place.
as gay.
Yeah.
They have families and they have husbands. They just casually get their dick sucked once in a while.
Homosexuality was way more prevalent in the ancient world than it is now. It was
I believe that.
It was
Totally,
way less
yeah.
frowned upon. People think, oh, now is the most, best time to be a homosexual, and it's a great time. But it's like back in ancient Greece, where Giannis can talk about that. It was way accepted. No problem.
open. It was
open. Yeah.
It's a little more open. Yeah, it's a little more flexible.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little more flexible.
Yeah, I've never, even as a little kid, had a problem. Even before the molestation, I just always never. I've thought about it.
Wait,
and
was everyone really molested here? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
For
Not-
real?
He
Not
wasn't.
this one.
He was
I don't know.
cat-shaped.
you guys?
No, he wasn't. No. Yeah.
All right.
You're unmolestable. That's all. I was a really cute.
If we
kid.
played a basketball team, instead of shirts and skins, it would be molested versus non-molested. You'd have a really good 3-on-3 game right now.
Yeah.
I'm good at I'm glad it's even.
we have to do that.
Let's do that.
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but we want to share some amazing sponsors with you.
Manscaped, Manscaped. Manscaped is how I shave my pubes. It's so important to shave my pubes because I'm a swimmer and I want to cut down on the fucking time.
Yeah.
Right? Men, listen up. Hairy bushes are so 2019. All right? If you are going to pick any New Year's resolution this year, let it to take care of your junk. All right? Manscaped is making it easy for them to groom
Yep.
their shit. Okay? Tell them more.
Guys, that's with their Lawnmower 2.0.
I use it, by the way, and it's so smooth. Go ahead.
You also use the ball butter.
I love the ball butter.
Yeah, he's going to go to Tokyo Olympics and win, guys. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code BELLY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off of free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code BELLY. Khalyla, what do you enjoy about Bobby's smooth body these days?
I feel like I'm fucking a seal, and that's That's really
Guys,
important to me.
that's all we have to say.
Yeah.
That's literally all we have to say.
Was that what seal sound like?
Yeah. So one more time. Guys, thank you.
Ratty, ratties for your feet.
I love Rothy's. It's a company that's making stylish shoes for women and girls out of this is the most important thing for me, recycled plastic water bottles.
Whoa.
They're super comfortable and fully machine washable.
Let me see one.
Bobby, I present with you.
I think you can wear them,
How dope
actually.
these look.
Oops, shit.
These are Rothy's. This is what's gonna save our planet, guys.
What about the style? You like it?
I love the style.
They have multiple styles. Like they have the pointy toe shoes, they have the Chelsea boots, they have every possible style. And they have like the low like the cute little more feminine ones. But they're super stylish, sustainable, comfortable, washable, really all in one pair of shoes. They're the perfect flats for a life on the go.
Honestly,
Tell us more about
I
it.
actually absolutely love them.
Aren't
Look
they
at how
awesome?
cool they look. And this is recycled water bottles.
That's so crazy.
That's incredible. Thank you so much.
Fun fact, we got the Chelsea boots. So check out all their amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/belly. Go to rothys.com, rothys.com/belly to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/belly today. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I want to know
Charity
who
game.
skull fucked you, and do you remember everything about him?
I remember. It was two brothers.
Oh, you got skull fucked by brothers?
Claire.
One of them held me down. The other one pumped me.
Oh,
so
shit.
I was sitting down.
They were the road warriors of rape.
So here's what happened. I was like the runt of the group. I was 10, 11 years old, and I would hang out with 14, 15-year-old kids. That's how I grew up. I was always like the little one, but they would hang out, whatever. So I was taking a shit, and they were all in my house. And I used to do all things. I mean, I remember one time they made me dress up. I got like butt naked and put on my mother's high heels and a Miami Dolphins hat, and I went and opened the door for the Chinese food guy, and they pushed me out, and they locked the door, and it was just me and him, and the guy wouldn't, the guy was like, get away from me, and I was just butt naked with my mom's high heels on, in the middle of a summer day in New York City. So I just went, so that thing, they would do things like that to me, which I was mistaken for love. I was like, oh, it's just they're razzing me because I didn't realize that they were abusing me. You don't know. So then I'm taking a shit one day, and one of them held me down, and just the other one fucking pumped me. It wasn't a gay, I mean, it probably was a subconsciously gay thing, but it was just to show dominance over me.
Yeah.
But in the long run, I don't really regret it because, and I'm not disrespecting them all. They're still actually close friends of mine. I'm totally over it. But I've excelled in parts of my life where they have not, because I was motivated to be like, you guys did. Once I started to realize what was happening to me, I was like, I'm going to destroy you now in every part of my life.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
I have questions.
Please.
So it happened
So do I.
while you were. This happened while you were taking a shit. Was the shit coming out at the time? And do you have any weird anal fetishes?
Good question.
I don't have any weird anal fetishes. I was shitting. I don't remember actually if it was like mid-turd or the turd had hit the bowl or whatever. But I do remember like I was shit. Like I was.
Do you still take your time in the toilet, or do you shit quickly and leave now?
Wait a second. Let me interject here.
Yeah.
She's making a very good point that maybe you're not cognizant of.
Yeah, tell him.
Because this is what he does.
Yeah.
He runs the water while he shits.
Right.
And but he leaves the door open, which is a strange.
I do the same thing, and you
thing.
know what?
Yeah.
I was molested by brothers,
Interesting.
What the fuck is going on here?
Maybe I keep.
and I have to ask him. The water has to be on.
I can't. My body will not. I can't pee or poop unless the water's on.
Or the door open. I have
Or
to leave the door open.
Or sound. There has to be sound. I put the water on here when I just peed.
In
Brother
August,
thing.
I relapsed after 17 years of sobriety because my dad died, right? And I realized I had a lot of trauma growing up, but I never even thought about it.
Right.
You know what I mean, in all my life, right?
Right.
Because he had changed over time, but I had to go to a institution and deal with this trauma that I endured. So do you think that you felt any trauma from that at 12?
I don't. If I did feel it, I haven't dealt with it yet. But I don't. I genuinely don't care. Like won't use their last. That's why I won't even use their last names because I don't want to hurt them. I'm not mad at them. I'm genuinely. I'm so happy. I would not change one thing about my life because I see what they go through in their life and how because now they're always at my shows, and then I played basketball. I excelled in sports past them, and it was always like they were always at my events, and the newspaper articles in there were always about me, and I'm not beating my chest about that, but I'm just saying I know, like, you know, their mothers would ask my mother, hey, how can our kids be more like Chris? He's doing well in these parts of his life. And I'm like, oh, it's because you abuse. I used it, I feel, for positive. But I'm not totally convinced that one day I won't just blow my head off with a t-shirt gun.
But you know, you can be like, I have that same like pragmatism about just being molested, and like it doesn't affect me mentally. It comes out through other ways of like excessive sweating and weird things that I didn't realize until I was like much older. Where I'm like, oh, this fucked me, but in ways that don't involve like.
I bite my nails, I bite my fingernails, I bite my toenails, I scratch myself. So
don't you love success revenge? Like when I was in high school,
when
when I was in high school, right, at the last day of school, the hottest girl at school went to my friend Craig and goes, "I'll see you over the summer, this and that," and then she comes to me and she goes, "I'll never see you. Good luck." And she just walked away. And I remember going, right? And then I remember a couple of years ago, she was like in the third row of a sold-out show that I was doing, right? Yeah. And afterwards, I hugged her. How's life? This and that. Yeah. And when I drove to the hotel, right, I had such glee.
Yeah.
Right. It's and I didn't intentionally do it, but it's like success revenge. Yeah. You know, it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
I'm so glad that I have only one skill set, which is humor. Sure. Right. And I had all this trauma and all that stuff, but I want everyone to listen. It's just like, if you can find that one thing, right? That one thing that you're obsessed about, right? And just do that one thing rigorously. Daily, you know? Yeah. Your life can still, even with a fucked up background, still turn out good, you know? So I've had a lot of those.
Do you have a lot of people that you would want in the front seat?
Oh my God, I have like a list. I have revenge fantasies. I have a lot of revenge fantasies. Right. And I have a list of 1,200 probably names on a list of people that I want.
You could sell out a theater.
Right.
Sell out a theater with the revenge. You should do it. The revenge. Invite them all. Give them free tickets.
That's like a fucking Wilt Chamberlain number of people who offended you.
I know. But you know,
I'm trying to even do the math and think how that's possible. Is that like 3 people a day who said "fuck you"?
I know, but it has to do with you know, I have a mind that's a little delusional, and I perceive things that aren't really real. Right. Right. Like, so if like a comic will walk by, and regardless of what their day was like or what's going on in their lives, I don't know. But if they don't say hello to me, right? And I don't do this anymore, but I used to write their little name in my heart, right? Like Mark Maron didn't say hi to me today. Right. And he gets into the revenge, you know what I mean? The basket, right? So he's in. But it's still out of my crazy, delusional fantasy mind that does that, and it's unhealthy. And so I don't do it now, but that's how I survived.
Sure. Do New Yorkers have those same sensitivities?
No, you grow up with a lot of, I think, scar tissue, because New York is such an honest, raw place where your kids, the friends you're with when you're kids, everyone's just mean to each other, and like sort of the way comics are. Yeah. Everyone, they find like your worst characteristic, and then they hold you down and fuck you in the mouth in the bathroom.
What it is. Yeah. It's like you growing up in a roast.
Yeah,
like
when you told me that, I was like, that was not bad. They only pumped it 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times. Yeah, well, it's just like I grew up where it's like, if you're not being made fun of, especially on my father's side, if you're not, you know, they're not flicking you in the ear or abusing you, it's like they don't care about you. So it's like you grow up with that, where it's like, that's the only way. You get quick to come with comebacks, because like that's how I was raised.
I want to say this. It was because when I first went to New York to do a show there, they made me do Opie and Anthony back when it was like, you know, they were together.
Huge, yeah.
And I remember it was Greg Giraldo, Patrice, Norton, it was a couple of other guys. And as soon as I walked in, they ripped me apart to the point where I literally left. I don't know if Opie can tell you. I got up and I just left. Right. Right, because I didn't know. Because, you know, in California we don't behave that way.
I know, but that
like
is animals. That's a little. I gotta defend you there. That's a little harsh. Like as soon as you walk in, it's like,
especially Patrice O'Neal. He's like the best that ever did it.
Yeah.
You gotta like, you know, meet a person first to really.
What did he say about you? Do you remember anything?
Oh, he said about my baby arms. You know what I mean? How can I walk? And all that, whatever. Yeah. But it was relentless.
Yeah.
And I remember sweating. Yeah. Walking away. Yeah. And then the next year, right? Yeah. I saw it back on the thing, right? But I said I went with my guns. Yeah. Right. I went click, 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 or a sword, whatever. Whatever appropriate thing is. Yeah. And I walked in, and instead of attacking them, I just started ripping myself apart. Yeah. Good. Right? And then they responded right, in a very positive way.
Right.
And it also taught me how to do podcasts because, when I was young, I got Mad TV, and I did, I memorized or whatever, do characters. It's not really this, right? So I didn't know what my voice was. I didn't know what my point of view was. I didn't even know who really I was, right? So, and then when they force you to go on the road and do these radio shows, but then I always thank Opie and Anthony for doing that for me because it gave me a layer of skin, and also it made me figure out how to do this, right? Yeah, so I really thank them, but, the East Coast is very scary sometimes for a young guy from the West Coast that goes there because it's like
we're both kind of like opposite extremes, and I think we can learn a lot from each other because New York is like very like cutthroat and like me versus you. Who's the best? It's like who's the best at what? Comedy? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not a zero-sum game. It's an art form that people have different tastes, people have different likes, and then here it's very collaborative, and that's nice and supportive. And those are two extremes. I think that
But you guys have that now too, because I know that Schultz was on here. Like,
we got it now because we see how much fucking
money.
money you guys are making.
Guy, none of us are living in the hills. Okay. We got one Betty's with bed bugs.
Yeah. Well, it started with
so
Rogan.
We pick up the pace.
Rogan started that culture. I think,
we know. Yeah.
And him bringing in people, and then us all starting our own, and then. We all do each other's, and we're all a family.
And we see that.
And we want to get into this family.
You're already in. You're here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having
we
us.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, in the East Coast, we see all that stuff. Now we're like, hey, listen, we know stand-up is important. We know, but now it's like, the podcast is what it's about. Like, we are not worried about doing the Tonight Show anymore.
Yeah.
We came out here specifically to do this. Like, this is the biggest thing we'll do. In weeks because of how many people your podcast reaches. So it's like we understand what it is now. Some of our peers back home are still like, "Oh, I did the Colbert Show 6 times." Like, good for you, positive. Like, no, I mean, it's like good for you, positive. But it's like you got the room half sold in Cincinnati. It's because you got your emphasis on the wrong thing. If you want to sell tickets and move tickets, you got to come out here and do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because when he came over yesterday to put myself on tape for.
Who do people say he looks like?
What?
Who do you think?
Who do you look like? Bruno Mars or
Bruno? That's a good one. Bruno Mars.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would say Bruno Mars.
I would say Tiki statue.
There we go.
Hawaii.
Yeah. I would say Bruno Mars or Moana.
I'll take it. I'll fucking take that. That's a Disney character, bro.
Moana.
Yeah.
In your face.
Fucking cartoon face.
But anyway, he put. There was a big movie, and we're on tape, and I literally did not care. Like 3 years ago, I would have been like, "We got to do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again." Because it was my life was riding on that job, right?
Sure.
And now it's like, I'll get called. Hey, you want to go in and read for the? Nah.
Way more chill.
But it's like this big director. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. It's like even like I got a show in development right now at Comedy Central, and it's a cartoon, and I hope it gets on the air. I genuinely do. But I'm aware that even if it does, it's not. I would never sacrifice my podcast or the stuff that we get to do with you guys for anything on TV. Never. I would never. Even like I was on a development call with them a couple of days ago, and they're, it's all like, what's the subjective truth of the character? It's like, I don't fucking know. It's like I had it on mute. I'm like boxing, and then they come in. They come in and like, Chris, do you have anything to say? I'm like, whatever you want to do, whoever you want me to voice, I'll be transgender. Let me be voiced by. You can voice me with fucking Aquafina. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Just give me the money because I'm just trying to get cash. Because the real art, the real beauty, is in being able to do what we're doing, not with all these fucking. You have to stop. You can't say this because of this sponsor or that. It's like that's not what people care about anymore.
Yeah.
They care about us just being honestly real. Like I wish I could talk about. I do a scene where I get fucking skull fucked by the McClarney brothers. They'll never allow it. But it's the funniest shit. It's the funniest shit. It's gonna lead to my suicide. So let's get it on camera. And then let's make them feel better. Then we'll sue them.
I have that freedom.
Yeah.
To say who my perpetrators were because they're poor and in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Fuck
Call them
them.
out.
Fuck them off.
Yeah,
fuck
them
them
off.
Fuck a Filipino.
Gabriel and Daniel Aves. See? I don't want you to bleep that shit out.
When I was a physical therapist, you work with a big Filipinos, at least on the East Coast, big in the physical therapy community, and they got the softest little hands that they can get, they have such little hands that they can get in between your spine, and they give the best massages.
The most racist ever.
No, they got little baby.
Do they bind their feet too? Fuck not.
They got little baby fucking hands.
Have you not? Look at these. These are not baby.
Yeah.
No.
No, those are Moana hands.
Mixed with the white. Just mixed with the white.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Mixed with the white.
That's true. My dad's 6'4".
Wait, so you're white and Filipino?
Yeah. But I grew
from-
up there. I was born and raised
You
there.
look Mexican. I thought you were Mexican.
That's
a
what
little.
happens. Yeah.
But you're born in.
Hey, how dare you, man?
But in the Philippines.
What? Have eyes? I mean, 10 out of 10 people would think you were Mexican.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was Mexican in high school.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Filipinos didn't like me, and my school was predominantly black and Mexican, so the Mexicans took me in, and I speak Spanish, and I get on. Mexicans are, I'm not even going to lie to you, even over Filipinos, my favorite people in the world.
No, right. They're my favorite people, too, as long as they're citizens.
As long as they got the papers.
As long as you're not coming over the wall from Juarez. No, I'm kidding. No, I love.
No, how do you feel about it?
No,
No, honestly, how do you feel about
no.
it?
Honestly, to be honest,
Yeah, I want to know how you feel about it. Yeah.
you know,
the camera's
I'm
on.
voting for the Fuhrer. No,
He's German. You can't help it. It's in there. You can't
it's in
help
there.
it.
No. I'm a person. I think I live my life in the gray zone where it's like, listen, I'm all for the wall is stupid. I don't fucking want that's a fucking dumb idea. But it's like, I want everybody to be safe. So it's like you can't let everybody in without some type of nice, system where we can verify things and just that's fine. Of course, but let everybody in. This is America. I got no problem with that. But it's like if you say that, they're like, you fucking Republican fuck. No. It's like no, baby. I'm trying. I got you.
That's sensible.
You can sit because people with 3-4 roommates, that they fucking at their kids. They're saying their cats, their cat parents. They're yelling about the politics. It's like you don't know what you're talking about, babe. I pay taxes. I own a home. You don't fucking know. You don't have any idea. You're sitting around commiserating. You're telling me about. I saw this one guy yelling on Twitter about what's going to happen if the Supreme Court justice sways this way and all. And like you're just regurgitating articles you fucking Googled. And his thing is he works for FedEx. It's like go fucking deliver the packages, babe. Just deliver the packages. Just mail me my shit, okay? Take a seat, hun.
Yeah.
Let the people who we voted in just do their jobs and trust in the system, and that's it.
Yeah. That's how Hitler came to power. Don't ask questions. Just follow.
Yeah, just
don't
it.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And whatever, we'll put some people in camps and it'll work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the people that are most offended by it are people that live like in the middle of the country, right? That aren't affected as much as we are in the cities, right? And we don't make that big of a huge what's the gang? MS-6613?
La Mara Salvatrucha,
La
come
Mara-
on. Fix it. You gotta flip it. It's not good to flip it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
MS-13. I lived by MS-13 gang members in Silver Lake.
We all do. This is LA.
I know, but every morning, hey, dude, good morning.
They're nice
That's what
people.
they say.
Nice.
Hug them. Hey, bro, I like the tattoos on your face. You know what I mean? It's like, they're the
fine.
nicest people.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. What you were saying, it's like the people in the middle of the country. Everybody, if it really affects you, like people don't care. We figure out ways to deal with it. Like even me, like it happened to me. I was on this show on Netflix and I got fired for a joke because there was an international competition and the Chinese team was competing and they fell off the obstacle course into the water and they called it the Beast Blood and I didn't say that. The competitor's name was Bin Feng.
Yeah.
And I said, there goes Bin Feng into the duck sauce. Now, yeah,
Yes.
and
USA.
Yeah, USA.
And the hypocrisy was I got fired, whatever.
For that?
For that, I got fired. Free comedian. But Bin Feng retweeted the clip of me saying that. Bin Feng, who I said it about, was very happy. He's like, hilarious. It's so funny, blah, blah, blah. He wants to come to my comedy shows, but I got fired by this fat white woman named Barbara.
Yeah, it's
because
weird.
Barbara has to fucking stand up for
Yeah.
China
Yeah, it's
when
weird.
it's like, you're a fat fuck, you have duck sauce on your fingertips. And you know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's the same thing with the middle of the country caring about it's like everybody wants to do the job for everybody else. It's like, relax, man. Like, relax. Like, we don't have to do all these things. Like, you have to hire a black man and a woman. That demeans them.
Yeah.
We're all equal. That demeans them.
Yes.
Like, let everybody be fair and square. Well, where it's 2020, it's like I understand there's still subtle racism and or maybe major racism in parts of the country, but it's like we get it. Like, come on, man.
Especially in show business, it's hard for everyone.
Right.
Even in in 1999.
Yeah.
When I got Mad TV, they didn't want an Asian.
Right.
They had never had one. They even said to Asian, he's not going to get it.
Right.
Right. And then when I did get it,
Yeah.
right, it felt there was no movement Asians weren't the it thing,
No.
right? But I still had the opportunity
Yeah.
And I hit it out of the fucking park.
Yeah.
And I got it. Yeah, and that's America.
It's America.
It's hard for everyone.
It's hard for everyone, and even like where I come from, like deep Brooklyn. Like I got a father, like a fucking father that was like in and out of jail, like deep Brooklyn father. I've never heard that man. And you would see this guy in a TV show and be like, oh, that guy's the most racist guy ever. I've never heard that man utter a racial slur unless his team didn't cover the spread. Yeah. But other than that, he's just kind. He's opened his doors when there was a big flood. Hurricane Sandy devastated New York in 2012, and Staten Island got ravaged, and my father's house was a little inland. So my father, but the houses on the shore got destroyed, mostly Latino families. And my dad rented a U-Haul truck every single day and went down and helped them and did all that, and even had 2 different families live in his house for 2 weeks each, took their kids to school and all that. But my dad's just from a time, so he's doing the right thing. My dad's just from a time though where like he likes to have like little jokes. Like the guy, the leader of the family, the father, his name was Juan. My dad called him Jose. He just didn't give a fuck. You know, it would be like, oh, hide the silverware, like old school dad hack jokes. You know, it'd be like, it'd be like, are you in a gang? Kid's 3 years old, like shit like that. But the act was, I'm going to help because I love people. So when you try to take away words now in comedy, it's like somebody would call it some like woke fucking social justice warrior would want to like tie my dad up and fucking burn him at the stake like he's a witch. And it's like he's doing more for the community and to push racism back and push progress forward than you ever could.
It's amazing.
You just want to hurt people.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have some amazing sponsors we want to share with you.
Hymns. Let's get back in the room. Do it right. No, hymns is...
Doing it right.
No, do it right, man. You got to do it right. And the most 2 important things to me in life is my head, the hair on my head, and my penis.
Yep.
Those are the 2. Honestly, if I got in a car accident and either one of those things are fine, I'm fine. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because when I was a young man, I had no money. I couldn't afford, anyone to go to talk about my hair loss or how my penis didn't work. And now, in this new age, 2020, men have a way. Tell them.
Guys, dive into 2020 hair first. Right now, our listeners can get started with their first month free. Go to forhims.com/belly. That's forhims.com/belly. A prescription requires an online consultation with a physician who will determine...
physicians, guys.
Yeah, and they will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Offer valid only if prescribed. 3-month minimum subscription. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Like 40 years ago, if you had Ron Howard hair, you had Ron Howard hair.
You're stuck with it.
You're stuck with it. Not anymore. Tell
Guys,
them more.
Remember that's forhims.com/belly.
You can unron your hair.
We'd love to have you on the podcast, Ron Howard.
That's what it sounds like when quip is in my mouth.
Oh.
Quip is the thing. Ask her. I used to have. I went into Rite Aid years ago, and I bought a fancy like electrical thing. And when I pressed the button, it would shock me.
Oh God.
Yeah, it would shock my body, right? Oh. And then in my mouth, it didn't feel right.
And his gums would just like
bleed
and splatter.
I'm telling you right now, Quip has the right sensitivity in terms of the vibration.
Cured his gingivitis.
It's cute, right? It's easy to use, and all the parts come to your door when you're a member. And I'm telling you right now, it has saved my mouth. My mouth used to look like Chernobyl, and now it looks like other parts of Russia.
Oh, great. That means brushing for 2 minutes twice a day, flossing regularly, no matter what brand you use. Quip makes that simple, starting with an electric toothbrush, refillable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste. Quip's electric toothbrush has sensitive sonic vibrations with a built-in timer and 30-second pulses to guide a full and even clean. The Quip floss dispenser comes with pre-marked string to help you use just enough. Plus, Quip delivers fresh brush head, floss, toothpaste refills to your door every 3 months with free shipping, so your routine is always right. Join over not 1, not 2, but 3 million healthy mouths and get Quip today starting at $25. And if you go to getquip.com/belly right now, you'll get your first refill free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/belly, spelled GETQUIP.com/belly. Quip, The Good Habits Company. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I don't believe right now that most people who call for all this social reform, I actually don't think they want it all. I think they want more division because then they have a job. If you don't have, they don't have a job without us being divided. A lot of these bloggers and all that then make money. What happens if we solve racism and solve the problems? They're out because nobody gives a fuck what they have to say unless they're inciting bullshit.
Yeah, but what you said about your dad, right, is I do the same thing with this guy, for instance. He comes in, right? What's up, ching ching?
Sure.
Right, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right?
And my dad would do the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if if any race comes in there, I jab this and that. I've always been like that, right? And that's just my way of getting a laugh.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's funny when they say it to me. Right. It's just it's out of love.
It's not always funny though when you say you've been offended in the past at like supermarkets and stuff.
Yeah,
things have hit you hard.
Yeah, but when somebody I don't know does it.
Yeah.
Well, that's messed up.
That's different because I don't know what their intentions are, right? I don't know what, maybe they're calling me Ching Chong and they are part of the KKK. I don't fucking know.
No, that's not.
I think it's the irony that we're at, that's the irony of freedom, is that we're so free here. Nobody wants to admit it. What comes with that is you're free to complain.
Yeah.
Because, our complaints and these complaints, these woke complaints, if you compare them to what our parents or grandparents had to complain about, our grandparents would be like, what? And you'd be like, oh, it's so bad here. It's like, is it? Where we came from was really bad.
Yeah.
And guess what? The people who were treating us bad over there looked exactly like us.
Sure.
So people are shitty. America has, nobody wants to admit the other side of America. It's like, yeah, America has problems, but we're kind of the best place.
Yeah, my mother, when she was 9 years old, she grew up during the Korean War. She was walking her sister to school, just cut to the chase. Her sister got hit by a military truck, entrails on the streets. There was no ambulance, so she had to run up and get my uncles.
Right.
They took rice bags, picked up my aunt, who's obviously dead, and buried
And ate her for dinner, yeah.
Sorry. Don't waste this.
Duck sauce.
War-torn country. The Koreans, they'll eat anything.
Finally, we got meat. Finally, we have some meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's my mom's trauma. Don't do that. That's the most racist thing I've ever seen.
I know. I didn't take my shoes and socks off. Is that okay? Am I being disrespectful to the sun god? I don't want to be disrespectful to fucking Kung Fu Panda.
But that's what my mom, right, was raised with, right? So it's like, we have it so good here, right? If that ever happened, we'd get an ambulance, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And there are also laws in terms of driving and stuff in this country that prohibits something like that from happening. It does happen, you know what I mean? But we have it so good here. And you're right. That point is like...
That's like this. I've said it so many times on this podcast. There's this woman, I think her name is like Diana Brooke. And she says, lofty ideas are a privilege of the well-fed.
Right.
And nothing rings truer
The
than
more privilege you have, the more you complain. It's like the split that sort
even
of.
the ones who complain about the privilege are coming from a privilege.
Absolutely.
Because if you talk to your grandparents or whatever, they're like, nothing's a problem. I didn't have shoes, but you know what? We ate.
Yeah.
It was like we had a little food.
And it's like, look, you think like some of the problems of our youth right now, whatever they complain about, this is an injustice, that's an injustice. It's an American or a Western world problem because the same kids who are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old in Syria and war-torn countries in the Middle East, they don't complain about that because they're getting bombed and acid attacks.
Or like Yemen. I'm sure a starving kid in Yemen, right, doesn't have an opinion about transgender or what to call them.
Right.
They don't think, I have to call Eskimos Inuits now, right?
No,
I mean, they don't have those issues because they want to fucking eat.
And I think also
That's what it is.
racism was overblown. I really do. I think people are shitty. Because when you look up, who kills the most Asian people in history?
Asians.
Who kills the most white people? White people. Who's killed the most black people? Black people.
Right.
You kill whatever's closest to you. So if people come into contact, of course they're gonna be racist because people are shitty and they want to hate.
On
no
that
matter what your
same
culture is.
note, I would even go as far as to say that the most racist towards Asians are Asians.
Sure.
We're terrible to each other.
Like on our podcast, History Hyenas. Plug it.
Yeah. Here's Hyenas.
History Hyenas. We cover the rape of Nanking, where what the Japanese did to the Chinese is as brutal, if
They
not
were
worse in some
bayoneting
ways,
babies
to the
sitting them over an open
Chinese.
fire
Yeah.
in front of their
Brutal.
families.
Brutal
Yeah, so
invasion.
My dad told me that when the Japanese occupied Korea, They used to hang Koreans by their ankles upside down in a tree and then dunk them in boiling water.
They
I
did do
believe
that.
that.
They
Right.
did do that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You were talking about people who have the same DNA. I mean, they're different countries, different
Yeah.
cultures a little bit, but this is the same DNA. You say if you take the people, there's no difference.
Pol Pot was a good guy.
Pol Pot, the guy had some good points.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at Croats and Serbs, what they do to each other. The list goes on and on and on. The Irish and the British, it's like people kill whatever's closest. We're still evolving, and it's like,
We're not the apex predator because we were nice to the other animals. We destroyed and killed. The killing is in our DNA as a human being. I mean, for millions of years, we were just another animal on the desert plain, and we would get eaten alive by lions and hyenas and the same shit. But then we have the most killer. We've killed 99% of all living things as human beings. So what do you think? Of course, we're going to be fucking horrible to each other. That's why it's a little mind blowing. I think most people don't want to do the research. They don't want to do the work. They just want to say it's easier for me to complain and bitch and get something I really don't deserve by shouting an injustice, as opposed to saying, let's try to fix this and help. Like, it's very interesting how, like, even like in Hollywood, like Shane Gillis gets fired for saying gook, right? What did he say? Chink.
Yeah.
Which is not, I'm not saying that's right, but he gets fired.
it is an accurate description.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying it's right, but the guy didn't fucking deliver the food on time.
It's a joke. I'm kidding.
It's a joke.
We know it is.
Yeah.
I say the same thing on this. Relax.
But it's like,
I'm nervous. I'm in LA. I know it is. This fucking place is woke.
But it's like Shane Gillis, right, is going to lose his job because of the outcry, because of these, social justice warriors and blah, 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 and gets fired, right? Okay, for doing a comedy piece. Whether you think it's funny or not, I don't think that he really meant that. He's doing a comedy bit and the joke missed, but he gets fired. Jussie Smollett, and he gets dropped by his agency, UTA.
Oh, this is a true story, yeah.
He gets dropped. His agency has to drop him. Jussie Smollett, who faked a hate crime, right? He faked a hate crime, but he's from a part of our community that, like, where they'll say, oh, you know what, he did that, and injustices and all that stuff is true. But
The kid from Empire,
he
right?
faked he faked a hate crime. He did not get dropped by his agency.
That's wild.
So one guy gets dropped, Jussie Smollett stays. That's not fair, right? And it's like whatever.
And
But it's
also,
like,
he didn't lose the support of a lot of his
not
cast
at all.
members.
Because
cast
it's
members,
all
right?
it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's
Can
a
I just say
white-black
this,
thing,
though,
but it's bullshit.
But in the context of this, though, right? There is a side to it where minorities in this business. I can only talk about this business where they didn't use us at all.
I agree with you 100%.
That's why you're a pioneer in a lot of ways, because you were one of the first that kind of opened the door a lot for
Yeah.
But then it swung the extreme the other way, right? We just have to find the middle ground here.
Right.
I think that's what we're going to get to.
Yes.
Right. The middle ground.
Eventually, yeah.
Because, it's like I know a lot of white dudes who are angry, who are actors, and they complain to me, it's all minorities now. It's like, bitch, for 50 years, 60 years in this business, we couldn't even fucking Genghis Khan, John Wayne. He cast John Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what
But
we
John Wayne sells tickets. That's the difference.
And you could pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Helpful. Yeah.
Imagine the Asian actors who auditioned for that part.
Oh my
they
God.
found out who got it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who got it? John Wayne. Yeah, it would have been amazing.
No, but I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially in this business, minorities it's all fine and fair.
Right.
But it's like, like you said, the overcorrectness, it gets to a point where it's like, well, now you're overcorrecting so much that you're hurting more people. Like I said, the oppressors become the oppressed. That's the oldest adage. That's what happens.
We always humans just always swing extremes. It's like, because it's just more fun, I think.
Yeah.
Just more fun to be extreme.
Yeah.
Being in the middle is kind of boring.
I wanna
It's
be-
like, I want to have some soup, but not too much. Like, who wants that? Who wants that? But like,
Yeah.
eat the perfect amount.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
we just want to go off the rails or abstinent.
Right.
You either like fucking not
One
touch
or the
it.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fun one.
I don't want, when I do my stand-up or any of my comedy, the last thing I would ever want an audience to do is to clap at some political statement I made. Either laugh, if you laugh and it goes into clapter, great. But I'd rather you just laugh or not laugh, because when these comedians get out there and they get a fucking sense of pride from getting clapping, it's like, you ain't, dude, like, this isn't a TED Talk. You're supposed to be doing comedy. Like, I don't care about your political statement.
It's also the
what
comics-
the fuck, this hyper-inflated
The
ego.
comics that they use now, like for specials,
Yeah.
are not.
Dude,
I know. I just want to say this. Okay.
sorry, go ahead, sorry. I don't know what
I'm going to say this. Okay.
because you always look like you're sneezing.
That's funny. You were doing that. Funny, bro. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you watch it. Very good. Very funny. Sneezing. Very funny.
You know, it's true
Yeah.
because you're right. Because New York, our kind of racism we come from the most diverse city in the world, so we're exposed to everybody. So it's like you kind of get to say we don't really mean it. It's kind of joke, but the country white guys,
Yeah, they mean it.
it comes from a place of like, yeah, buddy, how you doing, China man?
I know.
Yeah,
But the woke comics that they're using for specials and whatnot, all this stuff, are people that couldn't survive in comedy clubs.
No.
Right? I mean, I've seen them at open mics, and I've seen them at coffee shop gigs or whatever.
Sure.
Right? And so I think that's that really, because then as a guy that does the clubs. And I I'm playing Irvine this weekend. I'll sell out. Thank you. But it'll, and I'll crush it. Right?
Absolutely. The whole audience would be sitting on the floor Indian style. But what can you do?
No, they do. They do this, right? They do this like this, and they smoke like that. They're machetes. But, I mean, it's like now specials and whatnot are going to woke people who get. They say like these, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These political things.
Bullshit.
Right, and people clap, right? But they're not laughing.
Yeah. Right, I need you.
Well, I mean, there's this whole thing where you're supposed to say the right thing in comedy, but that's sort of the opposite of what comedy is. When did comedy, saying, hey, racism's bad? It's like, yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
How's that funny? If Larry David was a good guy on his show, how would that be funny? Like, when you got in trouble in school for being the class clown, it wasn't because you said the right thing at the right time. Our job is to say the wrong thing with charisma. That's what we do.
Why are we getting held to the same standard as a politician?
Yeah.
If I tweet something out funny, why? Because I said that I made fun of a group. Yeah, I'm a comedian. It says it in my bio. That's I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
We're supposed to. That's our job. They're trying to define a joke out of existence. Jokes are not the right thing.
Because it's the only way that they have power now. Yeah. Some of these writers that go after these comedians, they only have that power, like you were saying earlier, because of this cancel culture, where if you start to say, you know what, fuck, like you can't cancel. That's what I love about what you guys have. You can't cancel this podcast. You could say whatever you want. You could piss off maybe some people would drop off, but the power is in the fans' hands, which is where it should have always been, and now it feels like it's going that way. So the podcast, I think, does give us power back to say what we want and be funny. I'm not saying I'm going to say. I don't want to hurt a group of people with words. I'm not racist against anybody. We're just joking.
Do you think they'll come after us too eventually?
No, I don't think so.
How can they?
How are you
maybe ads and whatnot will go? We cannot now sponsor.
But on your Patreon, how are you going to tell your 2, 3, 4 million fans, like, if they all want to give you $5 and hear the podcast, they would do it in a heartbit because they love you.
If they shut that down, something else will pop up.
Yeah.
It's like,
how can they now?
Right.
Unless it goes back, unless it's like becomes like China, where like they cancel the internet, then it's a problem.
This is where people come to find funny. People need funny because they need relief from life, and life is tough. And that's what comedy does. And they get it now from the podcast because the mainstream is going the woke route. And they're doing that because, like Chris said, it supports a whole infrastructure of bullshit. It's like, if I'm going to review a comedy special, if I need purpose as a writer, I got to review a bad one and tell you it was good. Yeah. And that's where I find purpose. Because if I'm telling you a good one was good, I have no purpose because you already know that because you fucking laugh.
And that's why,
you know what I mean?
And that's why,
I mean, reviewing comedy specials is hilarious. It's like, guy, we know.
Yeah.
We review it in real time by laughing or not.
Yeah. I knew that comedy special sucked because I used to put my daughter to sleep. Yeah. Okay? That's why I know it sucked. It was a fucking, and that's why
these guys give themselves meaning by going, look, it wasn't exactly funny, but here's why it was needed.
Yeah.
It's a needed special right now, guys. It's needed.
That's why Yannis is such a fucking genius. That's why Yannis is such a genius.
Don't say that or you're going to get kissed on the lip.
I'll kiss you right on the fucking dirty Greek mouth. So he said, because what he says, what we fucking have done now, he's like, you know what? These motherfuckers, these magazines want to lie and say this person got the #1 comedy special, or go see these comedy specials and then fucking lie because it's an hour-long snooze fest. Then guess what we do? Yannis sits in his bathtub and he writes articles from the New York Times.
Yeah, we just
from
been
the New Yorker,
them.
And we fake them.
Bill Burr called me up. He goes, guys, congratulations on the New Yorker.
Yeah,
I said,
it's
I
a
went,
lie.
Tell him, and I went, I wrote that.
I wrote that. Yeah, he wrote it. Giannis wrote it from his fucking bathtub. So, and that's just the truth. So it's like, if they can, guess what? If they can bullshit, then it's like, you do it, we can do it too. I can write an article and say, guess I'm fucking quoted by saying this because you're fucking lying. Yeah. So now so are we.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
but you're so right. It is a fucking lie.
It's a lie. They're lying to you. They're lying to you when they tell you that comedy special is funny when you know it's not.
That person, like Bobby's just funny.
He's just
funny. You don't even need a joke. You're just born to be funny.
Yeah.
And like that's what comedians used to be. Like, yeah, you are. We're gonna do a triple kiss like it's spring break in a second.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's like-
because it's like I was at I pitched a show with Joe Coy and Howie Mandel about a month ago. I was at Netflix, and Howie goes, Joe does stand-up, and so does Bobby. And they looked at me in the room, and they go, you do stand-up?
Yeah, fucking idiots.
Right? And for a split second, I was going to let these people dictate how I feel about me and my work and what I do, right? But I just went, you know what? They just don't.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
How much of that confidence did you get from having this, like your own show where you can just be as funny or wild as you want?
Well, I mean, I mean, when I met her 6 years ago, I had nothing in my career. I couldn't get auditions. I didn't have a podcast. I was selling maybe 100 seats at a club at most, right?
You were still like everybody comic. Though.
Yeah, but I knew a lot of
Comedians always
comics and
loved
whatnot. Yeah, I could go to both coasts and meet people and with the best and whatever. But I literally now I'm having a resurgence in all of it, right?
Yeah.
Because of this. And
Sure.
what I love about this too is that my agents and my managers, they didn't help. They don't get a cut.
Good.
Right?
Good. Don't give it to them.
Yeah, and I have nobody telling me what to say. I mean, there are things, if I say the N-word, which I never have, by the way, you know what I mean? But let's suppose I do that, we'll cut that out.
Maybe when you start drinking again.
yeah. But what I love about this too is that, because I know that you and Schultz, you know what I mean? You guys remind me of what we have going on in here.
I appreciate
on this.
that.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's just, that's why I was telling George, like, I need them on, because we feel that way about you guys. And that's what I also love about this community is that hopefully we can go even more bi-coastal and connect in that way.
Because now it's at a time where it's like, I don't know like what the show was or whatever that you're doing with Joe Coy and Howie Mandel, but it's like it's actually probably going to cost you money to do TV now because you're doing so well with this podcast and with your ticket sales that it's like it'll cost you money to do TV.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is it even worth it? Like you can't convince these YouTube stars like the Logan Pauls of the world. When we were talking to Tim Dillon yesterday, it's like you can't convince those guys to do TV. They make too much money. It's like you want me to lose money to fucking go through your dumb development process? Fuck you. We'll do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, and more to the point with like us being a community now, it's like it makes me feel good, us feel good, because we're like, you know what? Like we're gonna keep trying and keep, doing it. But if it doesn't work, like we feel like none of us will go broke anymore because we can always help each other. It's like if I really needed help, I know you would let me open for you, and vice versa, and whatever. Where it used to be like you said 6 years ago, you just didn't have any gigs, there's no money. Where now it's like I need help me, and the comedians will help each other.
I used to allow Hollywood and these gatekeepers to dictate how I feel about my art.
Say what you want to say. Jews. Just say Jews.
I remember 4 years ago,
I'm kidding.
I was in office and I was auditioning for the president of some network, and I was testing for a show.
Right.
And I remember opening my mouth, and he did this. As soon as I opened my mouth, he went like this. Yeah. Right. Then my mind started spinning.
Right.
And when I drove away from that, I knew I didn't get it.
Sure.
I mean, it's because I was spinning. And I was probably in a depression for 6 months after that.
Sure.
Right? I let them dictate how I feel. Mm-hmm. And that's why this is everything.
Yeah.
Because I dictate this.
Yes,
I
exactly.
dictate how I feel about myself.
This is
Yes.
the best forum comedians have ever had, I think, in history right now. It's the best time to be a comedian. Because the things we like the most are laughing with our friends, having a good time for as long as we want, and absolutely nobody telling us what to do ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, because isn't that the worst part about being a comedian? You go into a meeting, they're like, we love it, but.
Yeah.
And we're like, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, you
gonna tell
were working in the fucking accounting department 2 months ago, and now you can.
Yeah, we do every night, and we figure out how in a vacuum to make people laugh, strangers laugh. We test it in real time.
Yeah.
I know if it's good or not, guy.
Yeah,
Who the fuck are you, and what do you do? Why are you talking right now?
It's like all these, when we talk about the agents, these people in the industry, it's like they just come from some fucking rich family where they're an embarrassment to their own fucking family.
They're
like
number crunchers.
You're gonna tell me what's fucking funny?
Let the comedians go. That's
Just
what
let
we
us
do.
go.
It's what
Yeah.
we do. We're, and this is the
And we're
perfect
able to
venue.
let go here, and that's why I think you're seeing the movement all over. It's like everybody who's got a hit podcast is selling the tickets over. I mean, we have some of our peers who are doing sitcoms, and they're making money, and good for them, but they're not selling tickets because nobody cares.
Yeah.
But they want to come see you because you're in their ear for an hour at least every week with raw, unfiltered, unedited comedy, and it's beautiful.
There is a good feeling because I was just on a sitcom for 2 years.
Yeah.
and there is a good feeling about driving onto a lot and having your parking space.
No, I know, it's nice.
It does feel, because I still have romance. I have romances about old school Hollywood and all that stuff. So it is. I treat myself. I do, because I do Magnum PI. I go to Hawaii in 2 weeks to do another episode.
That's awesome.
So no, it doesn't pay well, but I like the people in the cast. So and I do like acting, But I know it's not how I'm paying for this house.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would do a sitcom tomorrow, and I would do anything. Hopefully, Comedy Central does greenlight what I have.
Oh, they will. They will. Hey guys, they will.
Thank you. You'll do it. Yeah. But it's like my point is, like, I'm never gonna let that sacrifice the History Hyenas podcast
that earlier,
because it's like, so I don't mind doing it. I'm not saying I'm anti that. I'm still, but it's like they don't have my attention like they used to because they can really do less. I could do more for myself than they can do for me. You know what I mean?
It's a weird time. It's like, funny's funny. It's like he's been making a lot of Asian jokes in here. With Asians here, and you guys are laughing because it's funny and it's not meant. Like, what's happened now is, like, there's people who are removed from that context going like, wow, that's wrong. You're going like, it's jokes, man.
It's
like,
jokes. I'm doing it because I love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because I hate you guys. I'm doing it because I feel honored to be here.
I had a character that was a Puerto Rican transgendered character. And, like, Puerto Ricans loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Like, people who would come to pay to see it are Puerto Ricans. But then when I would go to, like, a meeting and pitch it as a show, they looked at me like they were like, what? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, this could never, ever be on television. I'm going, why?
I was actually just looking through the comments of Chet Hanks after he started speaking Pidgin. And, so a lot of people were really, like, riled up. They were like, oh, that's, like, absolute appropriation, right? But everyone from Jamaica was putting Jamaican flags out in the comments. Like, they were so happy he was speaking Pidgin.
Yeah,
and that's another thing about
who's getting offended? It's like the people who think you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, it's like the
Chet
duck sauce
Chez?
thing that I said before. It's like the Jamaicans don't care, and even cultural appropriation. I read this book, Sapiens, and it was like, and it's like, that's another thing. If the McLaren brothers heard that, I get skull fucked again. And it's like I read that book, and it's like, he had a whole chapter about cultural appropriation and what that really means. It's like, whatever you think your culture is, 1,000 years ago, those people who were in your family, your great-great-great-grandmothers, grandfathers, would be going nuts if they saw you doing what you think your culture is now, because it was raped into you and conquered into you. That's what culture is. It's one culture coming over through an ocean or through land and dominating and then making that culture your culture. So it's like, when you say you can't do that, it's like human beings is one shared culture. Like, it's a little ridiculous when somebody says that.
Elevate ourselves as human beings and evolve a little bit and not do that? Or do you think that that's always going to be a part of our DNA to kill and to take over and have that?
I think you don't have, because I think that what I said earlier, I think that's why we are the apex predator, because we want to dominate, and it's subconscious. I don't want to do that because we have society and rules, and the new neocortex part of my brain has my limbic system, and I'm emotional, and I don't want to hurt you or see you in pain. But it's like deep in my core, if you start to strip things away and it starts to become fight or flight, it's like, we'll kill each other to survive. I think it's ingrained in us. It's just how you were raised and what happened to you in your life.
Would you eat Giannis?
Would
you
eat me?
Eat him?
Would I eat Giannis? I don't like Greek.
Where did that question come from?
Well, the need to dominate at the end of the day.
What the fuck did that come from?
Like, if you were the last...
If Lord of the Flies situation, which one of us would you eat first?
Yeah.
Which one of us? Which one?
in the room. Yeah.
I'm not a gay guy, so I'm eating you first. I'm not fucking eating any of these guys' penis. I'm not touching you guys.
Yeah. Which one would I eat first?
Moana.
I guess. Yeah.
Moana's cheap.
No. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Who looks the tenderest?
I'd eat George first because I like my own taste. I need another white guy. Yeah.
I would eat him first because he's always high. He wouldn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
I would eat an arm. He wouldn't even.
I would eat you first.
Why?
Just because you've been through a lot. You look kind of.
Let me tell you
You're
something.
like Kobe Beak. You've been
No, but
a star.
bad choice. He has rhino hide for skin. It's impenetrable. You could
that's
put a
like fried
steak
chicken.
right
I
through
like
his back
that.
and he wouldn't bleed.
I like the texture of that. He's got a little crunch to him. He's got a little
There's
crunch.
a lot of calories to burn to kill him.
Yeah.
Because the hatchet doesn't go through
You
as
would
easy.
have a difficult time killing me, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, you know martial arts or whatever?
No, Asians, they're hard to fucking take down.
are hard to take
Especially
down.
him, he's a little bit of a squeak, so it's hard.
Yeah.
Squeaks are anybody under 5'7" or under. We
Yeah,
call him a squeak.
squeak,
Like,
yeah.
it's just a squeak.
Yeah.
And so it's like little, and no,
That's the most offensive thing.
no, it's a fun. No,
Don't ever call me squeak again.
no,
I
no,
fucking hate it.
no, there's no racial
That's
thing.
probably the worst thing you said.
I know, it doesn't even matter. Call me Gook instead.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No squeak.
Oh, sorry. No, but like they're just hard to take, because low to the ground, center of gravity, and
Look
stuff
at Vietnam. We made tunnels, right?
absolutely.
We would hide in a tree for 2 weeks with a banana, right? And
Absolutely.
we were survivors.
I don't
No.
know why the tall gene is dominant when shorter people live longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well-
make sense. Like, why does that happen?
It's
Maybe
all
women like it, so people stretch themselves out. Because chicks like tall dudes.
chicks do like. Because
don't
it
like
shows
squeaks.
dominance. Yeah.
Except you, yeah.
I fuck squeaks all day.
But he's got,
No,
I
but
mean,
I
girls,
can see
he
why
got
she's
personality.
extremely
Personality goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because he's all positive. Because you know what he gives off? He gives off like a life force.
Oppressor
He
vibe.
gives off like a vitality that I think what you see, you can.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's
No.
oppressive. Yeah.
No. It gives off this vitality, this life force, where you, I think, subconsciously in your head are saying. You find him attractive and you love all these things about him because he's got so much vitality,
I
so
go
much
deeper.
positive energy. Where you'll say he would give me.
He'd be he's a fun fuck, no?
Yeah,
He's jumping around the room. He flies down like upside down.
Yeah.
Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Rooftop. He's on the tree.
I think it goes deeper than that. I think because I'm Filipino, I have a colonial mentality of always having, like, seeing, like, praising the colonist or the colonizer, I mean.
Yeah.
And I think deep down inside, I think that you're an oppressor and a colonizer and somehow gets my pussy wetter.
That gets your pussy wet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a colonial
No,
mentality.
and you want to fuck them hard.
Yeah.
And I love mud Asians. The mud Asians are cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This fucking hut.
Yeah. I can tell them what to do. Yeah.
You do look like a fun fuck, though. You
He
look like a
is.
guy's
He's
crazy.
very portable.
Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah.
You can just take him to different parts of the
Yeah.
room very
He's like
quickly.
a sleep apnea machine.
What are we doing at time?
We're over an hour.
Wow.
All right, yeah.
So here's what we do at the end.
Okay.
By the way, I want to say, because I want to say it, this was a pleasure.
Oh, man, thank
pleasure.
you.
for us.
So both of you together
Thank you.
was a real pleasure for me. We got a lot out.
Wait, I botched your podcast name earlier. It's History
History
Hyenas.
History hyenas. History hyenas. We say it's hyenas, but I put the extra H in for marketing.
Hyenas.
But it's
Okay.
when you spell it on iTunes, it's just hyenas.
Yeah.
Spelled
Or
it
as Ari said, the extra H is for homos.
yeah. Or
Shafir?
Yeah. Ari Shafir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I want to say that
Is cat calling the cat?
no, he used to beat the shit out of me.
I know.
Oh.
I remember that. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're good now.
He's got a fucking face I'd like
Wait,
to
he used to
snap in a
actually
little bit.
physically?
Oh, he kicked my face in 20 times once where I was like unrecognizable.
Why?
Really?
That's a long story. But that was partly my fault. But
But you're better now.
I'm better now. We're very good friends.
Jesus.
But what I want to say is that it was a sheer and utter pleasure because we get some comics on the show that I have to pull. It's like pulling teeth sometimes, But I just knew instinctually with you two that I wouldn't have to do that. There's so much more that we can talk about. We could have done this for 10 hours, I think.
And I feel really inspired. I think I want to start a podcast called Skullfuck.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'll fly
Yeah.
from New York. Yeah.
And we just bring in really downtrodden, sexually abused people.
Let's do it.
And we share our
And it's
skull-fucking
hilarious. Yeah.
But either one of you, if you ever need this to promote anything,
Oh, thank you,
If you're ever in town, I swear to God, on my sobriety, on my mother's life, that if you ever need anything, we will
God,
do
who's
everything.
your God? Is he Chinese God? Or
Yeah.
You got a different one, right?
No. His name is Chang.
Oh, okay.
You'll love him. You'll love him. But I will do anything for you guys.
No, we appreciate it, man.
I don't know if that's a two-way street, but hopefully
It is totally.
It is. We were going to ask you if I don't know if you're busy, but we were going to ask you if you want to be a guest on our podcast tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
It's at 10 a.m., 9 a.m.
I have to do Burt Kreischer's Netflix show tomorrow, so I'm going to be 12
all right, but
hours.
yeah,
But yeah,
all right.
yeah.
That's the shit that happens in LA. Like,
I
I'd
know.
love to do your podcast, but I got to do Barack
Yeah.
Obama's television.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
I gotta have
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
I gotta have lunch with
Yeah.
Oprah tomorrow.
Big day
so-
tomorrow. But thanks for asking.
No.
But at the end of ours, we do think that this thing called unhelpful advice. People email us, and hopefully you can. It doesn't have to be helpful. It can be unhelpful, but we'll just read it. Go ahead.
Unhelpful advice with the History Hyenas.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro.
Hey, my boyfriend and I have been together for a little over a year, but we've been close friends for 5+ years. Everything's been great recently, but on Christmas Eve, I had a gut feeling to go through his phone. I never go through his phone, but something in the back of my mind was telling me to. I used his sleeping face to unlock his phone with Face ID. and I found out he was exchanging naked photos with 15 transgender women on Kike.
Yeah.
I ended the relationship, but now I'm
like
left
Giannis.
with the insecurity that I look like a man. I know it has everything to do with him, but my insecurities are now down to 0. I still in love with him, yet hate him at the same time. Any good advice?
First of all, that is a genius move to use his
never
sleeping
thought of that.
face.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
There's so many women listening to this right now going, yeah, I'm doing that tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
We've
really.
been doing that.
What did you find in Bobby?
That's not novel.
I think, you know what I think? I think that if she's saying that she still feels positive, or is it a guy or a girl? Is it a gay relationship? Or
No, it's a girl.
I was saying if she still feels positive around him, maybe that's just a part of his brain sexually that it's got nothing to do with her, where he's like, you know what, I love you, I'm not going to cheat on you, but in this other realm, in this fucking, cyberspace realm, I want to do that, and that's okay. Let his mind do that. But as long as he's still respecting you and making you feel secure, then I don't see there's any reason to break up with him.
I agree. I think that when I was younger, I felt this this need to know everything about my partner, and that's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
There are just some things that will never be explained to me, and you're right about the feeling positive, where that's what drove me to not feel a certain type of jealousy that I felt in my 20s. It's just like, you know what? If it feels good at home, if I'm receiving the love, if he's kind to me, I'm cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, years ago, I was jerking off to a porn. It was a close-up shot of this woman blowing this guy, and I was going, yeah, I like it,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then it panned out, and it was a dude,
Okay.
right? But I still came. I didn't feel guilty about it. It was also a kind of erotic in a weird way, right? I didn't feel any kind of shame about it. And maybe that's just a fetish thing that he has, but I don't think it has nothing to do with he views you as a dude. That's
I don't think so either.
I think there's, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I think we're all guilty of this, but I think that there's narcissism in her point. I'm not shitting on her for it. I'm just saying it's like this is not about you at all. This is all about him, and for you to internalize that is like that's the problem there. It's like how does he make you feel? Because that's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and I think if it's always made me feel closer to Bobby to know that he has sucked dick. And it's a weird thing that a lot of people don't understand.
Dude, LA's
It's all breathe. It's all
Yeah.
breathe.
No, but it's like it's
The McLaren brothers, like I was right about Chris.
LA is different.
That's fucking whoa.
You're talking to your girlfriend. I just really like this guy. I mean, she sucked a few dicks, and it's just nice. It's just different.
I like it.
I like that I feel he's elevated in that way.
Yeah.
Where he's not some fucking bro so scared of his, you know what I mean,
yeah.
of his sexuality. Like, I'm into it. And I think this girl thing, you're right about the narcissism thing. Like, it goes back to how she feels about herself immediately.
Yeah, you don't have to be in. Yeah.
Dude, Bobby's always dated chicks with like androgynous features. And there's a part of me that believes he does like me because I'm flat chested and kind of buff. But it goes back to the dick sucking. Maybe one day.
Okay. All right. Hello. Is this
What
on?
I'm saying.
Anywho,
Hold
I'm
on.
sweating. I don't know why. I suck 6 dicks. That's it.
6 ain't bad, dude.
Yeah,
6
thank
not
you.
bad.
Thank you.
But it's not. I don't think it's gay at all. If that's what you're worried about, also, and also, it's like, all women jerk off to lesbian porn. Like almost all women.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean they're not straight. It's like it's a fantasy thing, and a lot of transgender women are more feminine than actual women. So it's like, the piece down there, what's the difference?
We watched the neuroscience study that the neuroscientist said the number one thing that excites men, heterosexual straight men, is transgender porn when they have really big dicks and really big tits, because that's the thing. And we'll fast forward. A heterosexual man will fast forward through porn with a man having sex with a woman if the guy's got a little dick or if he's not rock hard.
You wanna see
so that's
big
what we want. We like
That
rock
makes
hard
sense
cock
to
with big
me.
dicks.
Mixes the signals in your brain.
Yeah. What she should be worried about, her question was, do I look like a man versus I feel deceived that he is exchanging messages with another human rather than a transgender thing doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
The fact that he might be cheating on you,
Right.
that's what matters.
Right. He's being dishonest. That's what matters. But as far as the jerking off thing, it's like, hey, I've jerked off some weird stuff.
Yeah, it's like one of those. If he wants to send those pics my way, ChrisComedy@gmail.
Like, I'm not, I'm a chick. I'm not supposed to talk about or enjoy rape. But do I love like rape porn and seeing 10 dudes just fucking cream pie one chick strapped down? Fuck yeah.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
It's not real.
I like it too. Anyway, anything to plug, guys? Your handle?
Go ahead.
Yes, I have a special called Blowing the Light, which is on YouTube. Please check it out. And most importantly, History Hyenas with me and Chris Distefano.
When does this episode come out?
Wednesday.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be at Gotham, Gotham, February 21st and 22nd in New York City, and Uncle Vinny's February 27th, 28th in New Jersey. Get tickets.
So I'm ChrisDComedy.com. I got January 24th, Hamden, Connecticut, Spaceland Ballroom, Celebrity Theater, January 25th, Atlantic City, and February 8th, Kennedy Center, Washington, D.C. ChrisDComedy.com for the tickets. And, I love cock.
Give them a round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Oh, so good. Hey guys, we're here at Housekeeping. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I had a great time. Those guys were funny, George.
That just kept on going and getting better. I loved it.
Fun fact, I actually auditioned for Chris's show 2 years ago. Guys, on that note, we'd like to thank all our sponsors for sponsoring the show. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BELLY at manscaped.com. Also, go to rothys.com, rothys.com/belly to get your new favorite flats made out of water
New,
bottles.
comfortable, stylish, and sustainable.
I love that.
There, yeah.
That's TigerBelly all day. And remember, for all your hair and penis needs and just help as a man, go online to forhims.com/belly.
And if you want to avoid that Chernobyl mouth, get Quip. Go to getquip.com/belly right now.
That is GETQUIP.com/belly. And for all of Bobby's tour dates, you can go to BobbyLeeLive.com. Any Irvine's this week, George?
This weekend is in Irvine. Are you going to be there?
I don't know.
I'm trying to go there.
How about we
Friday,
say
Saturday.
We'll try.
I mean, but you're probably going for Bobby though if you're listening to this. So Irvine this weekend.
George is having a meetup at Kona Grill next door, so check that out.
There's their one.
I think there's. I don't know. I just assume all those plazas have some kind of weird Hawaiian thing.
Then he's in Omaha, Nebraska at the Funny Bone on the weekend of January 24th. So 24th, 25th, and maybe the 26th. Check that out at the Funny Bones website in Omaha if you're in Omaha. And then February 13th through 16th. Schaumburg, Illinois, in Chicago Improv.
Guys, thank you for listening. You can follow Khalyla at Calamity K for all your TigerBelly behind-the-scenes stuff as she posts things of Bobby there all the time. You can follow Bobby at Bobby Lee Live for all Bobby Lee-related things. You can follow George at...
I'll give this one to John Na.
Follow
on Instagram.
John Na, if you want some super cinematic postings. And do you post stuff about your child? Yes, sometimes. See? You guys, you get kids and cinematic footage. And then you can follow Barack Obama at Gilbert, one of the best presidents from what I hear. Make sure you follow us on TigerBelly, at TigerBelly on Instagram, and then at the TigerBelly on Twitter. And you can email us questions if you need some help at adviceunhelpful@gmail.com, and any business inquiries?
Yeah, business inquiries.
Inquiries at our old email, which is thetigerbelly@gmail.com. And that is it. We love you. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.